1575.
It's time for the Playmaker Spotlight with Executive Coach and Vistage Chair, Dick Smith.
Well, welcome to the Playmaker Spotlight, the part of Get Down to Business where we speak to CEOs, presidents, and business owners and share their stories and best practices with you. I am your host, Dick Smith, the CEO business coach and award-winning chair for Vistage International. And I'm very thrilled to have with us tonight an old friend of mine. I don't mean you're old. I mean, we've known each other for years, haven't had a contact in years. But I have Janet Traphagen, who's the rather new president of a company called the Creative Group, a meeting planning and incentive management company with offices in Buffalo Grove currently and Appleton, Wisconsin. From their website, Creative Group is one of the industry's largest and most influential meeting planning and incentive management companies, and Creative Group helps motivate your workforce, invigorate your brand, engage your customers, and drive results. The teams at Creative Group are dedicated not only to provide the services their clients need, but to execute them better than anyone else. Creative Group has relationships with clients that have exceeded 30-plus years. Janet Traphagen, Creative Group's president, and today's guest, joined the company in 1996. She's a six-time winner of Salesperson of the Year award. Watch it. She can sell ice water to an Eskimo, as they say. And she's held positions of increasing responsibilities through her promotion recently to president in 2015. So, Janet, welcome to Playmakers.
Dick, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Well, glad to see you again. So give us the CNN story. And in fact, you got a little bit of an announcement to make here about how old the company is, right?
That's right. We were founded in 1970, and in fact, July, which it is now, is our 45th anniversary.
Whoa.
In fact, when I leave here today, I'm headed straight to the office, and we're having a 70s party with 70s music to celebrate all those 45 years of success.
You can't see Janet, but I thought she took old clothes out of the closet, and sure enough, she did.
That's on purpose. We're going to have fun today. So 45 years ago, we were founded in Appleton, Wisconsin in 1970, and we were one of the first incentive companies in the marketplace. And in those early years, I think some of our first customers with a wholesale grocer focused there in the marketplace and really looking to help them grow, motivate their distributors to sell more. And if they hit certain targets, then the promise or the reward or the incentive was to take them on some type of an amazing group travel experience. In those days, it was much more regional.
Sure.
So we would focus pretty much on the central region, pull everybody together who won the trip, do a charter flight out of Milwaukee, take them to Hawaii, and then the next year, guess what they wanted to do?
Yeah.
They wanted to win that trip again, which really ultimately was helping that company grow profits and improve performance.
It's a great concept, and the industry has expanded dramatically over the years, of course. So I understand that you guys were recently acquired by Direct Travel out of Denver.
We were.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. That was actually about 90 days ago, so fresh off the press.
Okay.
After 40-some years, we really looked at the future of the company, succession plan around our senior leaders, and Direct Travel, led by Ed Adams and John Kaufman. They really focus primarily in the TMC space, which is the travel management company space. They were making several acquisitions, and they were looking at one sort of crown jewel in their acquisition portfolio in the meeting and incentive space. They looked at Creative Group. We talked to them for several months in due diligence and felt that it was a really good match for us to tee us up for our future.
So tell us a little about size. How many associates now at Creative Group between Chicago and Appleton? Those are your two locations, correct?
We also have an office in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit.
And a few remote workers all around. Satellite offices as well. So right now we're about up to 150 full-time employees.
Wow.
And that last year, if we look at our figures from last year and some of the stats, those 150 employees with several of our freelance help on the road when we execute these programs, they managed 515 programs in 75 countries.
Wow.
So they are literally, as you said in the intro, they are the best.
And they're on the road a lot.
They're on the road an awful lot.
And they're great people. So tell us a little bit about how is it that you became president? You're a great salesperson, obviously, and won 6 times Salesperson of the Year. So.
You know, it's interesting. I've been in the industry starting even before Creative Group on the corporate side. This is my 25th year in the industry.
Who'd you work with before Creative Group?
I worked with a company called Cardinal Health, which probably a lot of people know by now.
Know Cardinal,
right?
Sure.
And even before that, a company called GE.
Oh, my goodness.
In the marketing department. So really started very young, supporting the person responsible for the incentive travel and the meetings business. And then came to Chicago and worked on the third-party side and been with Creative Group since 1996. Mm-hmm. And what I love is that I have had the opportunity to do many different roles. The participant part of it, the buying part of it, the planning part of it, and as you said, spent a lot of years in sales. And then just last December, was named president. So I love the fact that I bring that client perspective as well as multiple job families to the perspective of growing the company.
Good for you. Hey, if you're just tuning in, this is the Get Down to Business Playmaker Spotlight, and we're talking to Janet Traphagen. She's president of Creative Group, currently in Buffalo Grove, and you guys will be moving to Elk Grove Village, I understand, pretty soon, huh?
Actually, Schaumburg.
Oh, Schaumburg. I'm sorry. We're in Elk Grove Village. I'm sorry. You're going to move next door.
We are going to move to Schaumburg, hopefully between Christmas and New Year's.
There you go. Good.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you guys distinguish yourself from the competition. There are other companies that do what you do, right, Janet?
There are many. In fact, it's a pretty saturated marketplace. Yeah. I think really what people are drawn to with Creative Group is the authenticity of our people, the commitment of our service, and really the longevity of the time we've been in the business and delivering results for our customers. So I think they're really drawn to that depth of experience that we can bring to them to help them close a performance gap is really what our focus is.
Can you give us a little example of how you've made a difference in that performance gap for a client?
Sure. I can think of a few. And in fact, today we have a team in the city talking to an automotive company. Mm-hmm. And they are asking us for ideas around helping them celebrate their milestone anniversary of 50 years. Oh. So how will we engage their audience? And maybe that's going to be a year-long campaign. So that's one way. I think another way, we have a great client and a Fortune 500 brand that really wants to engage their audience around the origin of their products. So we help them with trips to Costa Rica, to Africa. They really get embedded in the local communities there to see where their product is grown. Wow. And it's a really kind of life-changing experience. They're really in the fields with the people picking beans and really seeing their brand come to life in terms of investment in the education and the communities. And it just draws closer brand loyalty.
Sort of confirms the why they do what they do, yeah?
It's the why they do what they do, exactly.
So tell us a little bit more about the Creative Group culture. You guys have a wonderful culture there. Talk to us about that.
Culture is a topic I could talk about all day long. One of the things I strongly believe about culture is it cannot be imposed. Culture is something that's already there.
Yes, it is.
And mostly it emanates from the leader. Mm-hmm. And our leader for the last 44 years has been Ron Officer.
Sure has. Good guy.
And Ron has really led with enormous heart and great compassion. And he instills in everybody who walks through the halls of Creative Group what that means to our customers. And when you see that modeled, you naturally repeat that with your customers and our suppliers. So I think the culture is one really led by compassion, authenticity. We hear that a lot from our customers. Such a genuine and authentic place.
Wanting to help.
And we'll see a little bit more of that when we celebrate this afternoon.
Yeah, and Ron's actually came up with the idea, I understand, of this retro going back to the 70s.
He'll be there dancing.
Good for him. Good for him. Hey, we're just out of about time, but tell me a little bit about change in your industry and how's that happening? How are you managing? Boy, that's a tough job, I would guess, with all the changes. Yeah,
there's a lot of changes. And I would say one of the most notable changes has been the concerns on our customers' minds. One of their top concerns is the level of engagement of their employees. A recent Gallup poll shows that about only 30% of workforce is really engaged in their work, which means that balance, that 70%, is not really reaching their full potential.
Either slightly disengaged or completely disengaged.
So that is where we can come in and really help close that performance gap and help with our customers' change, much less our own.
Let's just move them up one category from disengaged to engaged or slightly disengaged to engaged, and that's got to make a major impact, right?
Major impact on the bottom line.
Well, boy, this time has gone way too quickly, I'm afraid. We're just about out of time, but I'd like to thank Janet Traphagen, again, president of Creative Group, for being with us today. Janet, what a wonderful 45-year history the company has had. Enjoy the celebration. And how would our members, or our audience, get a hold of you if they wanted more information about the company?
They can go to our website, which is creativegroupinc.com, and learn all about what we do.
Terrific. Well, thanks again, Janet, for being with us. I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in once again. This has been the Playmaker Spotlight. I'm your host, Dick Smith, CEO, business coach, and award-winning chair for Vistage International. And now we'll turn you back to Shalom Klein and get down to business.
A new poll showing